I'll never tell. I looked to you as it fell. Now you're in my way. Traded my soul for a wish. Pennies and dimes for a kiss. I wasn't looking for this. Now you're in my way. Your stare was holding, ripped jeans, skin was showing. Hot night, wind was blowing. Where you think you're going, baby? Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. But here's my number, so call me maybe. It's hard to look right at your baby, but here's my number. So call me maybe.
They can't see me anyway, right? But they can hear me. So they know it's almost showtime. We're going to give everybody a couple of minutes to change into their nighttime PJs and come and join us for some social distancing comedy. So see you guys back here in a couple minutes. Get comfy. See you soon.
I didn't know I would feel it. Still you're in my way. Your stare was holding, ripped, your skin was showing. Hot night, wind was blowing. Where you think you're going, baby? Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. But here's my number, so call me maybe. And all the other girls try to chase me, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Before you came into my life, I missed you so bad. I missed you so bad. I missed you so bad. Before you came into my life, I missed you so bad. And you should know that I miss you so. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. Like, here's my number, so call me maybe. It's hard to look right at your baby, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. And all the other girls, you know they try to chase me, but here's my number, so call me, call me, call me. Do you know what's worth fighting for when it's not worth dying for? Does it take your breath away and you feel yourself suffocating? Does the pain weigh out the pride? And you look for a place to hide. Did someone break your heart inside? You're in ruins. 121 guns. Lay down your arms. Give up the fight. 121 guns. Throw up your arms into the sky. You and I. When you're at the end of the road and you lost all sense of control, and your thoughts have taken their toll, when your mind breaks the spirit of your soul, your faith
walks on broken glass, and the hangover doesn't pass. Nothing's ever built to last. You're in ruin.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Social Distancing Comedy Showcase. It's stand-up on the internet. Listen, I want to be totally honest about my current state of mind. Work has been awful lately, and I literally just told Jesse, like, hey, sorry about my current mood, but I'm sober, right? So, like, that's where I am today. I'm trying to get people to pat me on the back for being sober. It is after 7 o'clock. I think maybe I do deserve a pat on the back or like a White Claw. I don't know. Sorry, guys. It's been a little stressful. So to make things a little bit easier tonight and to give more people time to throw comedy at me, we are going to do a best of, because we have made it through one whole month of social distancing comedy showcases. That means it's been one whole month since I had to look someone in the eye in the audience and tell them not to use this microphone as their penis. So yeah, I kind of miss it. So we're gonna do a best of. Last week I was sick. It kind of threw all of our scheduling off. Sorry about that. Last week I was sick with a migraine. Those happen. They're not as funny as they sound. But I'm back this week, and we'll get all caught up, and we'll get everybody up on the show, and we'll get watch parties going. And I know you live for this, so that's what I'm here to do for you. So tonight we're gonna do a best of. I wasn't even here for all of the comedians that are going to be up tonight, so that'll be fun. I get to see some of those. What else are we going to do tonight? Oh, I did. Everybody's been doing topical quarantine humor. I don't really have quarantine humor. Next week, I know exactly what I'm going to tell you guys, but I'll leave that for the end of the show. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to tell you a weed story. I only have one weed story, and I've only told it once to an audience of several hundred people. But not you guys, so I'll tell you my real good weed story. Don't worry, it involves everything you hope a weed story involves, like small children and a priest. So tune in next week to see what kind of weed shenanigans I could possibly get into. I'll tell you about that next week. These are I don't have any quarantine jokes. I just have quarantine things I've learned over the past couple of weeks. Apparently an entire month of quarantine shows. One thing is that I want and deserve to fart more. I've realized since I've been at home all the time that I can't just leave. Like you get in your car and you leave your house where the people you love are, and then you get in your car and you just fart as much as you want, and then let those farts just sit in the stink bucket that is your car while you're in Costco getting tubs of cookie dough. Dad, thanks for the Costco membership. Couldn't do it without you. None of my clothes fit. But now I'm just hanging out at home all the time, so like all of my farts are happening there. And I think after a month of this, I've realized I just deserve to fart more. So it's not a fart joke. It's just I deserve to fart whenever I want. What else? Oh, I realized that coming to do this show for you is the only thing that causes me to take mascara off. So today while I was getting ready to come here, I was like, wash your face. At least look, I don't know, like you're sober because you're trying to be sober. And it was the first time I had taken my mascara off since the last time I was here. So this is barely fresh mascara. That's a thing I've learned about myself. Oh, there's also this new quarantine game. Well, okay, you know how everybody's in quarantine right now and they're all working on projects. So like, I've been waiting for so long to put down this new gravel. I don't know garden terms, but everybody's doing these projects. Well, I've been working on a project for the last nine and a half months almost, actually. I've been working on this project, and it's been Project Convince Gilbert he wants to live at my house. So breaking news, everybody, the project has almost completed itself. Gilbert Gonzalez has agreed to live at my house. I am very, very excited about that project coming to fruition. So I'm doing that. But for those of you who don't know Gilbert Gonzalez, he won Best New Improver of the Year this year. And because of that, he likes to play improv games around the house that I don't know I'm a part of. So one of the improv games is called Improv I'm Not Listening Game, a.k.a. Improv Earbuds. So sometimes he wears earbuds around the house, and if he's wearing them, he can't hear me. Now, but I can't always see them, because they're in your ears. You can't always tell when somebody's wearing earbuds. So I'll just talk to him at length from the living room, and then minutes later he'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?" And I'm like, "Oh, never mind, forget it. It's never mind." So the other day I was doing that, and I thought, "Oh, I don't think he can hear me." And he looked over at me and went, "Oh, what was that?" And then did this, and I went, "Oh, you had your earbuds in?" And then he went, "No, I didn't." And apparently it's an improv game where you can pantomime things and you make people think things. So now he plays this game.
it's improv earbuds to determine whether or not it's a horrible improv game, and I'm constantly questioning whether or not he can hear me. I hate this game. It's funny, though. It's funny as hell. I laughed for like 30 minutes. The other one is that he's been playing, I don't think is related to his improv skills, but it's called Guess What Muscle I'm Clenching. So he just comes into a room and then stands really still and goes, guess what muscle I'm clenching. So these are like quarantine games that I'm now playing, which I brought on myself. This is totally my fault. The only other, did you guys know this? I also don't know, maybe Jesse knows about this. I've been driving crazy fast lately because the only place I drive weekly is here. And it usually takes, 11 minutes from my doorstep to here, but lately it's been taking like 7. But recently, I read this study that said that speeding tickets are up like well over 50% right now. And I was like, oh, those assholes are just trying to get their money because they can't get their money out of us, and the government's blah, blah, blah. And I clicked on the article, and it said, no. Speeding tickets for people going over 100 miles an hour have doubled. And I was like, oh, shit, that's a little more real than I thought. So on my way here, I was like, well, how fast are you realistically going? Are you going faster than usual? Because you're definitely making it here in record time. 92 miles an hour. I was going 92 miles an hour. So apparently that's also a thing. But I was going slow enough on one of the side streets to see something I cannot explain, will never be able to explain. Please, in the comments, tell me what you think was happening. There was a mom, I presume she was a mom. She was wearing like a kitchen moo-moo. I don't know what those are called, but they zip all the way up, and you don't have to wear anything underneath of them. And then she was wearing a luchador mask, and she was posing kind of Frida Kahlo style, very, very, very profoundly staring off in the distance. And behind her, I assume her 2 children were holding up a sheet, and then someone was sitting on the ground in front of her. None of them had cameras. I didn't see a phone. I don't know what was happening, but I went just fast enough to not really catch what was happening, but slow enough to see a mom in a luchador mask and a moo-moo on my way here. So those are my quarantine observations for this week. Tune in next week for my fun story about weed, my only story about weed. 2 children, a priest, and some marijuana walk into a bar. No, I'm kidding. I don't tell jokes like that. Because I can't. Not because I don't want to, because I can't. Okay, so that's enough of me. I just miss you guys a ton, so now I'm just blathering on all night. But I'm going to get around. See? Here we go. Get around. To some comedians I haven't even seen yet. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't listen to sets before I get here, so I get to watch them with you, which is why we mute my mic, because I laugh too loud. And it's very distracting, and everyone knows I laugh too loud. So I have not yet seen these sets, and some of these sets, so I'm very excited. So up next, we are going to bring you, are you ready? Get your popcorn ready, Luke Westberg. Luke?
Please welcome to the stage, Luke Westberg. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Oh, I think you can do better than that. I said, how's everybody doing tonight? Yeah, much better. Alright, this is awkward. I can't just do stand-up without an audience, but I can, however, play guitar and tell jokes without an audience, so I'm gonna do that. This has never been done before in the history of comedy, people telling jokes with musical accompaniment. Very original. Alright, here we go. Do you think that a dyslexic person would have trouble committing a murder-suicide? Because the order of a murder-suicide, it's important that you get that exactly correct. And if you commit that suicide first, chances are you just aren't gonna get around to that murder, you know? Have you guys heard the one about the coronavirus? Yeah, of course you have. You have definitely heard the one about the coronavirus. I think coronavirus is God's punishment on us for telling Kobe jokes. I received a compliment from this girl recently, and she told me, you know, Luke, you're a really great cuddler. Awesome. So that's exactly what I want to be known for, my cuddling skills. She probably told all her friends, Luke just cuddled my brains out last night. Yeah, I did. Cuddled them good. Why do ghosts always want to play Ouija? Can't we play some other Parker Brothers classics when gaming with the dead? Like some Scrabble or Uno, Monopoly? Something to mix it up, jeez. It's 2020, which means that we've been fighting the war on terror for over 18 years. Yeah, the war on terror is so old that R. Kelly won't even piss on it anymore. The war on terror is so old that known pedophile Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. It's as old as that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself meme. It's that old. People like to buy bananas when they're young and green because they last longer. I always say that I like my bananas like I like my women, yellow and covered in bruises. But I like Asian girls that do MMA. What's wrong with that, huh? Whew, deja vu. I've been having a lot of deja vu lately. I think that there's something wrong with me because I've been having a lot of deja vu lately. I think there's something wrong with me. Ugh, deja vu. I used to live outside a gay TED community. Everyone living in the neighborhood was gay, and their names are all Ted. It was a gay TED community. Do you get it? Yeah, you get it. I went to one of those cash for gold places and melted down some of my grandma's gold jewelry. They gave me $80. Then I melted down my $80 and I got a handful of ash. And all that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold. The band Smash Mouth is far superior to the Beatles. That's not a joke, that's just a statement of fact. Now for some political humor. What did Trump say to the Mexican? He said, "Get out of the USA, USA." The Prime Minister of Canada, his name is Justin, and you may not believe me, but it's Trudeau. Abe Lincoln was our tallest president, and he wasn't good at basketball though. It's probably because Abe Lincoln got shot in the face before basketball was invented. Alright, thank you, I'm Luke Westberg. Bye.
Oh, I have a pencil. That was Luke. Is it on unmuted? Words are getting hard. It is unmuted. Luke, everybody, give it up for him. I don't know where that piece of paper is. You can see his stuff if you want to give him Venmos and Twitter follows and the other social media things. Listen, am I the only one? I'm not the only one. Someone else the other day admitted to me that words have gotten really hard. Who was that person? I want to quote them right now. Dang it, I don't even remember. But they mentioned that words had gotten hard, and I think that's true. So thanks for taking it easy on me. Luke, he made was that a Justin Trudeau pun on his name in a joke? That's a lot. He fit a lot into that. I think there were Kobe jokes. There were R. Kelly jokes. There were Jeffrey Epstein jokes. That was a lot of jokes that I definitely had never heard before. So that was a journey, Luke. I appreciate it, and I like the puns. Everyone knows I like puns. And Helika just joined, I hope. Oh, Tracy Bean is here, too. Hi, Tracy Bean. How are the beans? All of the beans. Those are people. People like me skip bacon. We are attracted to other people like beans, like the Bean family. That's legitimately their last name. They probably get asked that as much as I do. People are like, oh, where'd you get Skip from? And I'm like, oh, it's a cute story about how I got my nickname. And they're like, what about bacon? And I'm like, well, that's just my last name. And people are like, well, that's absurd. Like, the story about how I got my name, they can totally handle. The last name thing, they're like, that's stupid. And I'm like, but it's just my last name. But beans get it. Bacon and beans go great together. Great to see you, Tracy. And Helika, I don't know if you were here for the announcement earlier, but if you need me to make that announcement again, I will reiterate the announcement that I convinced Gilbert Gonzalez to move into my house. I don't think it had anything to do with a global pandemic. I think it has directly to do with how much he likes hanging out with me and my 2 Pomeranians, that 1 Chihuahua, and my buddy Pat. I don't think it has anything to do with a global pandemic. I think years from now we'll look back at it and be like, was there a pandemic during that time? He just really loved you. So we're not going to dwell on that. And I'm going to give you another comedian. Who's our other comedian, you ask? He's not here. I keep looking. I have stopped looking for them. They're not there. Our next comedian, are you ready? Yeah, the crowd goes wild. Don't forget to clap for your host. Every time I come back up, you got to be like, oh, Skip's back. Get excited about that, and I'll come back. I'm coming back anyway. I do need the... Tell me I look pretty like once. Okay, so now we're going to bring up Mr. John Alston. Please.
Go. And your next comic, you've seen him on Law & Order SVU, also Smokin' Aces, and he's in a movie coming up with Jerry O'Connell called Ballbuster. Please welcome to the backyard, John Alston.
Woo! Woo! Thank you. Thank you very much.
You know, I used to begin all of my sets with, "Hey, how's everybody doing? You doing okay? You feeling good? How's everybody doing?" And I stopped that after a really awkward set at a hospice. Well, strange times. We are at shelter in place. My hygiene and grooming has gone to shit ever since we went from epidemic to pandemic. I had all sorts of great plans for this Stab Comedy Theater set. I was going to do my set outside of Ralph's where people were lining up, and I was going to do this great crowd work where I'd say, "Hey, do we have any hoarders in line? Where are my hoarders at?" And then there'd be like an old lady with a mask, and I would say, "What are you worried about? You survived the Spanish flu of 1918. And then everybody would get pissed at me, and they'd call the security guard. And then the security guard would come, and I would take the camera and show him, and I'd go, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" But that's not going to happen. So let's work on some coronavirus jokes, shall we? Boy, everything's flying off the shelves. Toilet paper, hand sanitizer, paper towels. Also flying off the shelves, Axe body spray. It doesn't stop COVID-19. It just is very effective at repelling people. Oh, I'm going to wait till the laughter and the knee slapping stop. Oh, gun shops are also doing their part in all of this. In light of this crisis, gun shops are also instituting a limit of 10 AR-15s per gun nut. Hells Angels, they're concerned as well. They are putting alcohol, rubbing alcohol on all of their brass knuckles and chains because they don't want rival gang members to get infected. San Francisco Bay Area hit hardest. They were the first to begin with the shelter in place. 6 counties, 7 million people told to stay inside, do not come out, we don't want to see you. It was not to stop coronavirus. Authorities are just trying to cut down the amount of pretentiousness in the Bay Area. Well, kind of tough here in the land of the love in the time of coronavirus. And if you're thinking of picking up somebody outside a bar that you can't get in, here's some pickup lines for you. You can say, "Hey baby, what do you say you come over to my place and let me flatten your curves?" Also, you could say, "You know what makes me hot, really hot, is your dry cough." No, I mean really hot, like feverish, like I've got COVID-19. And if you're in a convalescent home, you can say, "Hey, we're both over 80, we have compromised immune systems. If we're going to do this, let's get it over with," because they're going to be dead. Dogs are also affected by this. Vets are telling dogs, please stay at least 6 feet from other dogs' balls and asses. So that's happening too. Anchor people, you watch the news, they're 6 feet apart, which they don't have a problem with because really nobody likes hanging around with the weatherman. I went there. Yeah, I know, I went there. Anyway, I just, I want to say I love you all. I love you. I love you like that donkey loved the baby Jesus in the manger. That's how much I love you. And if you could throw any love my way, I'd appreciate it. Don't have to. Be nice though, because I'm kind of in Shitsville. And I'd like to leave you with this word from a very wise man. Be good to each other and yourselves. Okay.
Am I muted? There it is. Give it up for John Alston. I had seen that set. He's very funny. Things I like the most are people who laugh at their own jokes, because if I could write jokes like that, I would laugh at my own jokes consistently. I also like that he talked about flattening curves, because it's kind of like a pun for like sex stuff. I think it's funny. I also like any Jesus jokes. I know we're not writing jokes for me, but we're not writing jokes. Like other people like Jesus jokes. Tracy loves Jesus jokes. Tracy Bean, you should definitely tune in next week for the story, the one marijuana story I have, which involves 2 children and a priest. It's the crazy, I can't even look at the camera while I talk about it. That's how weird and embarrassing it is. I'm so glad you're here. Just realized how many announcements I made about Gilbert Gonzalez, and he is not on the watch party tonight, so he may be getting a bunch of weird messages this evening. Sorry, Gilbert. He doesn't live in my house now, so he might not be there when I get there. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I was just looking at this. Oh, there are 2 ladies on plus me. Okay, perfect. I know last week
Last time I was here, I don't know how much you talked about bras last week, Jesse. Did it come up at all? Not a lot. It didn't come up a lot. Last time I was here, I mentioned that me and the other female comedians who are doing comedy for you, some of us are choosing to put on a bra for you since you don't have a reason to put on a bra. We're taking this as our opportunity to do so each week I will highlight a bra. Last time it was Rihanna's Savage Fenty line. This week it is Torrid Strappy line. Love the Torrid. They get it. They get how many cookies I need to eat to sustain life. So that's what we're featuring on tonight's show. Don't DM me for more questions if you're not my friend Megan. Like, okay, if you're a lady and you have questions about bras, you can DM me. I did not anticipate how much bra talk would come back in my messages from men I didn't know. I didn't see that coming. I don't know if that happened to you when you talked about bras last week, Jesse. No, not so much? No, didn't happen to Jesse. Okay, fair enough. All right, we're going to bring up another comedian. He may or may not be wearing a bra for you. This is the best of show, so we're going to give you Mr. Germ Leather, please.
Hey, Germ Leather here. Gonna do a little bit of solitary stand-up for you. Hope everybody's doing okay out there in quarantine town. Anyways, here we go. You know, I once performed stand-up at a casino you weren't allowed to smoke cigarettes at. I remember saying to myself, a casino you're not allowed to smoke in? What's next, a strip club you're not allowed to cry at? Come on, that's ridiculous. I've given it some thought, and if this whole stand-up thing doesn't work out, which clearly it's working out just fine, I'm doing great, but if stand-up doesn't work out for me, I've been thinking of getting into nursing. Yeah, the hard part's finding a pregnant woman willing to let you do it. That's the part I have most trouble with. You gotta shave your beard, because nobody likes a bearded baby, right? Okay, a few of you out there like bearded babies. I see ya. Anyways, any of you people have kids out there? I mean, kids that you're actually related to, not one's dumb enough to get in your van. Couple of hands went down, I saw that. Well, I don't understand why anyone would want to have children, because kids are essentially just pets that will be able to grow up and tell people how fucked up you are. What an awful idea. If my cats could talk, I'd have to kill every one of them because they know too much. They've seen too many things, and I can't afford the therapy if I'm honest. That's another thing. People are always saying, my pets are my kids, my pets are my kids. Really? Have you ever tried to teach a toddler to use a litter box? Have you? You ever tried to teach a cat to wash dishes? They suck at it. It's terrible. It's no fun for anybody. And also, if you're gonna have pets, please stop giving them human names. It just gets confusing for the rest of us. This is my cat, Kevin. No, it isn't. That's ridiculous. This is my dog, Susan. Okay, whatever you say. It gets confusing for the rest of us, okay? Because then you say things like, oh, Kevin locked himself out last night. He was outside my room screaming all night long. Dude, get a new roommate. What is wrong with you? That's not your problem just because he lost his keys. You say things like, oh, Susan must have gotten into something. She took a big crap on the kitchen floor. Dude, break up with her. You're not going to get your deposit back. Seriously. I just don't get it. I don't get how people can have pets and name them human names. That is weird. It's not Kevin. It's Mr. Wigglebottom. It's Chairman Meow, but it's no way that's a Kevin. It's just silly. It's just silly is my point. Children are such strange things. My mom really wants me to have kids, and I have to admit, number one, I should not be in charge of a child, obviously. I mean, this is my life. There's my Spider-Man picture. Clearly, I am a child. But my mom wants me to have kids. Like, she's like, oh, Germ, you've got to have some children. There's just not enough entitled white people wandering around. It's so sad. And I have to say, Mom, you're being ridiculous right now. I don't need to be a father. I can't even handle the anxiety I get watching someone else make me a burrito, okay? I'm just like, more sour cream, more cheese, fuck it, you gotta start over. I have to take a Xanax before I go to Chipotle, you guys. Think about that. It's rough. It's pretty damn rough. So my girl and I are kind of freaks. We get into some interesting stuff with our sex life. One of the things specifically is, she screams at me in broken German and I wear a clown suit. Usually that's enough for me, but sometimes we like to mix it up a little. The other night we were having sex My girl looks back at me and goes, "Oh yeah, fuck me, Dad." Not Daddy, which for some reason, why is that okay? But she says, "Oh yeah, fuck me, Dad." And I like cough a little bit, and she must have thought I was into it because she just doubled down, man. She's like, "Yeah, fuck me, Dad. Fuck me like I got straight A's and you're taking me to a Taylor Swift concert. Ugh, ah. Fuck me, Dad. Fuck me like we're both mad at Mom. We're going to get froyo. Ugh, gross. Fuck me, Dad. Fuck me like I got straight A's and you're taking me to the Grand Canyon. Ugh, gross. Gross. And arousing. Very arousing. Gotta be honest with you. It's difficult in this day and age being a guy. I gotta say something to the men out there, actually. You know, men, just because you buy a woman dinner does not mean she's gotta sleep with you, okay? And women, just because you sleep with a guy does not mean he's gotta buy you dinner. You have to understand that. I love you. See you next time. Bye-bye.
And Mike's already back on. Give it up for Germ Leather. You can Venmo him. Is it just the Venmo? Venmo him. It's there. I used to read them. Remember when we first started doing this and I would read them all like I could read letters? Well, that is out the window. So you can read Venmos. You don't have to say it out loud either. Words are hard. I got some messages from the group while we were here. Gilbert Gonzalez can't join the comments for some reason, but didn't want me to seem as pathetic as I was sounding. He does love me. He does want to move in with me. It is not the global pandemic. He wanted to make that really clear. Also, he wanted to make it really clear that it was Aurora Singh who said words are hard. So thanks, Aurora, for putting on a bra for comedy, but agreeing that words are real tricky right now. Also, I don't know if you guys know this. So if you Venmo the comedians, I'm pointing over here because there's a computer screen, no comedians. If you Venmo the comedians, a thing that's happening is some of these comedians know each other and they are friends with each other. And one of them, two of them are a couple, Aurora and Drew, who we featured at some point and hopefully will feature again, are even a couple. And people have been comparing not notes about their shows or about their sets, but how much Venmo money they've made and comparing it to everyone else. In most instances, it's a couple dollars here and there. But if you really want to start a feud, I'll just make sure and tell you who's together before every show, and then you can start a little Venmo feuding war, which is what some of you have already done for Aurora and Drew. So hopefully we'll have them back, and you can do that again. There's Germs. You can go on to his anytime. Also, I think we should get the audience to vote on this. Jesse, for sure. If someone submitted a claymation set, would we accept that? I've never seen claymation done by a person I know. Have you? Do you have friends who claymate? I think that's a verb, and I don't think we have friends who claymate, but now we do. So I would love to see, what do you guys think? Would you like to see claymation comedy or just, I don't know, just claymation period? Anyhow, I think that's a great idea. I just looked down at my notes to see who is next, and I wrote down strip clubs you can cry in. That's good times. And pets snitching on you. Yeah, if my dog Tim could talk. Yeah, no, it would be rough. It would be rough. Even now that my neighbors can hear me yelling at my dog because they're always home, the little girl next door has serious concerns about my dog's safety. Because every once in a while when I'm yelling at Tim, because, yeah, I have a dog with a human name. He came named. It's not my fault. His name would definitely be, Fluffy Bottom or Wiggle Bottom or whatever. But right now his name is Tim. And every once in a while when I yell out to make him stop barking, I'm like, Tim, you have to stop barking. I swear to God. And so every once in a while I yell things like, if you don't stop barking, I'm going to turn you into mittens. And the neighbor girl must have heard me yelling that. She calls him Senor Barky. She said, and he was barking at her one day because he barks ferociously at this little girl all the time. And he was barking at her and she goes, shh, Senor Barky, shush, shush. If you keep barking, that lady's going to turn you into mittens. So the little next door neighbor's probably going to snitch on me to the SPCA. I'm not going to turn my dog into mittens because I don't know how. I think I know a girl who knows how, but I don't know how. Anyhow, I'm glad that our pets can't snitch on us. Please let me know in the comments if you want to see claymation comedy because I want to see it. And I'm going to bring up another dude. How's that sound? Are you guys ready? Is it I can't read his last name on this. Opitz? Chad Opitz. You guys ready? Here he is.
I'm glad you could be here. In person, in my room, when times are so nutty. I actually called my mom today, and I was asking her like how the coronavirus thing is affecting her, and I forgot that she's agoraphobic, so she was just like, business as usual, welcome to my world, motherfuckers. It was interesting growing up with an agoraphobic mom. Sometimes it would work in my advantage, like when she'd be like, Chad, you're grounded, you're not going anywhere, and I'd be like, well, I'm out of here, because what are you gonna do, come get me? And if that is the case, woo, we overcame your debilitating disorder via me being a little piece of shit. So it all just worked out. Got a lot of time alone, watching a lot of movies. I watched Marriage Story, was not that impressed. I want to make a sequel to Marriage Story, which is just 90 minutes. First hour is them eating at Applebee's, and the last 30 is them being too full and tired to fuck. I thought that would be a more apropos Marriage Story film. There's certain tropes in movies that bother me, like any movie where like a prostitute falls in love with a client. I'm just like, this is so unprofessional. Like you've got a job to do, maybe multiple jobs to do, depending on what services are needing to be rendered. So, you keep your emotions out of this, okay? We don't want you getting attached to somebody you're peeing on. That don't make no sense. That's not helping anybody. Isn't it annoying when the waiter or waitress comes to your table right when your mouth is full, facts about how the earth is flat? It's just like, come on, get out of here. I'm dropping some truth bombs here. Opinions are like assholes. It's difficult for me not to laugh when I hear them. It's just generally a funny thing. I was having a conversation with a friend about Andrew Dice Clay, and he said he didn't like him. I kind of do, just because I like exuberant act out shit, and I was trying to think of like what kind of things Andrew Dice Clay could do like at this time, maybe like during the time of the coronavirus, what would his like nursery rhymes be like at this time? Like, there was an old woman who lived in a shoe, and she can't go outside because it's fucking crazy, and she's an old woman. Oh, it's a possibility. Like, old Mother Hubbard looked in a cupboard, and they were bare. She's not going to fucking Costco. She saw those lines online, and she's just gonna fucking die. Oh. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill bashed his fucking head in, stole all of his toilet paper, and survived the fucking apocalypse. Oh, can he say that? Can he say that? Hickory dickory dock. And by doc, I mean a well-trained medical professional who knows what the fuck is going on. Oh! That is my act out for Andrew Dice Clay during the coronavirus times. Breakups are hard. What a segue. Breakups are hard. I got a friend going through a bad breakup right now, and he's not dealing with it very well. And I get it. And I think breakups, honestly, like the most devastating thing you can go through emotionally that like nobody else really gives a fuck about. Because to no one else is it a big deal, but to others, like, the way people handle it, it's almost like a death. It's a huge loss. It's a big deal. It can feel really awful. And some of the advice you get, like, after the fact is like, can you imagine, like, someone saying to you, like, dude, I'm really sorry to hear about your grandma. It sucks. But you just gotta get out there and fuck, okay? Like, and, to be honest, your grandma wasn't even that cool to begin with. She got jealous when you talked to other grandmas. Her cookies weren't that great. That quilt she knitted you with the baseballs on it, it was subpar, dude. So you just gotta get out there and get that dick wet. Get over it. Pause for 5 seconds to hit that 5-minute mark. Thank you, guys.
Did he just end his set by pausing for 5 minutes to make sure he had 5 minutes of material? I really like that. I really liked it. I liked it, Chad. Thanks for your comedy. I didn't get to see that one before. Thank you for your comedy, Chad. Please Venmo's the Chad. Also, I just found out, so I'm on Facebook because I feel like that means I'm old now, actually. I don't know what that means. I hope it means I'm super rad. But I know we're also on YouTube because my buddy Clayton watches from there and my dad. But there's also a thing called Twitch, which I know I've mentioned before, but there's people on Twitch right now. Apparently people I know, like Luke's on there. I know that guy. He's my neighbor. Anybody else I know on there? Very excited about it. Also, nobody answered my question. What are Twitch people called? Twitchers? Twitchets. Twitchets. That's what my dad would call them. Twitchettes. Like dudette. Did anybody else's dad ever have like a different name for dude? Like guys were called dudes, but girls were called dudettes. Is my dad the only? My dad's the only one, isn't he? Dang it. If my dad wasn't the only one, could you please comment? If you've ever heard somebody else's dad say it and you were like, that dad, but it wasn't your dad, like I'm not saying you have to claim that. I claimed it, obviously, without thinking about it, which is how most words get out of my mouth. But did your dad ever say stuff like that? Could you tell me I was hoping we could have a night of those, like dad jokes. I know I'm the only one who wants that. Maybe I'm not the only one that wants that. There are a bunch of dads who don't know how Facebook works who definitely want a night of dad jokes, but I definitely wanted a night of just dad jokes. Here are some other things we were thinking about doing. Maybe a night of parents doing comedy. One such parent, Mrs. Megan Avalos, she had said maybe we could do a night of parents doing comedy from their homes or quarantine sets. And she said it would be great if right next to her she sat her high school son and tried to get him to laugh during the set, which of course is probably borderline impossible. I don't know. I mean, he's a great kid. It's just teenagers, the level of apathy for their parents is just off the charts. The level of apathy regarding their parents' comedic goals has to be way off the charts. So we're thinking about doing a night of comedy like that. So I thought parents would enjoy that night of comedy. What other? Oh, a ladies' night of comedy. I thought that would be good. It's not the bra show, Robert Best, but there is a lot of bra talk. So we could just do a night of that because that's all we would talk about is bras for sure. That's how most ladies are. Anyway, those were some of our ideas, and now claymation is on the table. So I think things are going well. I'm very glad to be back at the show. Glad we're doing a best of. This has been fun. Oh, you guys really liked this lady. She was one of our favorite ladies that we've had on. She's very funny. I don't know which clip this is. It's the first one. The first one isn't my favorite. The second one had a lot of good puns. But please welcome back to the stage again for our night of favorites, Miss Janelle Murphy.
Thank you so much for tuning in from your couch, your bed, and your toilet. Appreciate you all staying sharp and fresh out there. Want to do a special shout out to those that also have turned their plastic water bottles into bidets. It's that type of attitude and innovation that keeps us scot-free. So you're good. You're wonderful. You know, we got a whole production crew.
That's
here.
good.
This is high budget. Right?
That's good. That's good. Keep
High
going.
budget special. Shout out to our producers. So yeah, my name's Janelle. But when some people meet me, they get really excited. They're like, "Oh, Chanel, like Chanel No. 5," and I'm like, "Yeah, but like Chanel, the knockoff version." I'm like a designer flea market handbag, but with the self-esteem and class of a sassy gay man. Chanel. This is such a crazy time to be in quarantine and single. The number of increased cat ladies is just through the charts. In Cat House. You know, it's so crazy that this isn't even my cat. I stole it. So there's a lot going on. A lot going on right now in the world. I too lost my job, but before I did, I worked a lot of odd jobs before getting laid off. I was a corn dog lady at a music festival. I was a waitress at Joe's Crab Shack for 6 months, and I was a brand ambassador for Tiffany's jewelry department store. But the weirdest job that I ever had was working in an office, because I never realized how much people sneezed and coughed until we shared the same recycled air. The office... That could really use some laughter. No, you're wonderful. So the office world is so weird to me. Like, people would ask me what I did for work, but I never knew how to answer that question because they told us we defined our job title. So some people would claim data entry, but I would just tell people, I don't know, I copy and paste. Oh, that cracks me up. If anything, this is for me and you guys. So there's no place like an office. Like, where else can you go and see 3 people interacting about them both having chicken and rice for lunch? You have chicken and rice? I have chicken and rice. Me too. Chicken and rice. So on another note, I don't know about you guys at home, but I went into quarantine with a list of goals, like learn another language, read a book, and work out. But all I've really done is buy a Nintendo Switch, sext an ex, and lie about coming. It's not me. It's not you. It's me. No, really, it's the notifications on my phone that keeps distracting me. But I was dating prior to quarantine. I was in a relationship. I was dating a musician. And dating a musician is a lot of fun until you realize how exhausting saying no to free cocaine can be. Yeah, I know. It's almost like you need to take a bump just to keep up with saying no. And I don't even do blow. But there are pros and cons to dating a cokehead. Pro, the house is always clean. Con, he's vacuuming at 5:30 in the morning. I did ask him, though, what are the pros and cons to dating a stoner? He said there are none. And I thought about that. I think he's onto something. And that something is stoners don't steal when they run out of weed. They make friends. But one last thing before I go. I did actually try cocaine for my very first time prior to being in solitary home confinement. And I tried cocaine, and I have to say, what a time to have a nasal drip. Thank you all. Thank you so much. My name's Janelle Murphy. It's been a pleasure. Find me on Instagram at Comedian J Murph. You're beautiful. Stay safe. Be well. Thank you.
That's Janelle, everybody. Please follow her on the social medias. I do it. I like how I just admitted to it. I'm like, I've done the social medias. It's fine. It's totally fine. No, she's hilarious on social media. She's just hilarious all over the place. I will do my best to get her back up here for another set. I have referenced that. I don't know if she's watching tonight. I have referenced her set because I don't know if you know what it's like to have to go ask comedians right now if they want to give comedy, because they're like, what? No, we can't be around each other. I'm like, no, I know. We're going to do it on the internet. Oh, okay. So, like, what jokes do you want? Which I have a strong urge to just tell them all my favorite jokes they say. Like Joey C, if you're on, like, it's Joey G, not Joey C. I already got Joey C. Need Joey G's jokes about hummingbirds. I haven't heard those jokes. Do you know how badly I want to tell everybody those jokes? I can't tell your hummingbird jokes like you do. I have tried. I don't know where David Samuel is, but I can't tell Sasquatch jokes like he can. So, like, I have to strongly fight the urge to request very specific jokes from everyone. But people are like, what would it even look like for me to do a quarantine set? Like, how do I, is there an audience? Is there a laugh track? How do we do this? And Janelle's set is perfect for that. They have audience members, clearly. There's a cat
at minimum, and then maybe 2 people. My favorite thing about the laugh track, which I've been telling everyone about, is that her friend is running the laugh track. And there's a point in which she tells a joke she states she thinks would have deserved a laugh track. And her friends don't give it to her. That's hilarious in and of itself. So I love Janelle. She's a perfect example of how to do comedy from quarantine. She's killing it. We love having her up here. Hopefully we'll have her up here again. You can still give her Venmos, which will remind her to do more comedy for us. I think she's sharing it with her cat, but not the person running the laugh track because they didn't really get on it. Anyway, I love that lady. We only have a couple more, but the next 2 people are not just comedians. They're my neighbors and would definitely be friends with my friend Mike. Mike and Mr. Stephen Ferris would be best friends. I know this for a fact. So my friend, my neighbor, a hilarious guy, Mr. Stephen Ferris.
What do you guys want to do? Oh, you want to hear a joke? All right. Well, I guess I'll tell you guys. Have you ever heard the one about the 4 gorillas that were named after coins? Well, let me tell you a little bit about them. Let's see. There were the four gorilla brothers. There was Silverback. He was the biggest, and he was named after Silver Dollar. Next down from that was Quarterback. It's named after the quarter. Also, a big fan of American football. I don't know if that just happened because his parents named him that, and so he was always thinking about football, or what. But that was his name. The next, and these gorillas, you know, they were named sort of according to their size. So each gorilla is slightly smaller than the next. So, you know, some quarters, even though they're worth more, are actually smaller than others. So that's why the next gorilla down is Nickelback. And he was named after the nickel. And also a big fan of my favorite band, Nickelback. And last but not least of the 4 brothers was Dimeback, who he was a big pothead stoner, and he loved to share. He had a lot of weed all the time. He loved to share his weed with all of his stoner friends who loved to take hits off of Fat Nugs from Dimeback's Dime Bag. And so that's the story of the 4 gorillas who were named after coins. And how much time do I have left? Oh, there's 3 minutes. So this is pretty cool. I'm using the selfie stick to do this. I think this might even be the first time I've ever used this selfie stick that I bought. I think I probably bought this 3 or 4 years ago, thinking, hey, that'd be fun to take to open mics and just record my set with a selfie stick. But I never actually did it because I don't really like carrying a bunch of stuff around. But I don't know, I guess I could tell you some more jokes. Do you guys like to go up to the lake on weekends and stuff? I guess we can't really do that right now, but oh, actually, you know what? So I went grocery shopping yesterday, and I have 5 rolls of toilet paper left, so I think I'm okay for at least a couple of weeks, and hopefully by then you'll be able to buy more. But people in the store, you know, they were looking at napkins trying to decide which ones were the softest and whatnot. And there was one guy who seemed pretty familiar with napkins and had used them before for this. And he suggested some that some of us could take. So, you know, we bought those. But also rubber spatulas are not sold out. People aren't hoarding those. So it might be something to think about. Anyway, I'll go back to my other joke here. That'll wrap it up. You guys, if you like going up to the lakes on the weekends, I like to do that sometimes. And I went up there with a friend of mine a few weeks ago, and he told me we went water. What did we do? We went up to the lake. He told me a secret, and I didn't know how to take it, and I just wasn't really sure what to do, whether to believe him even. He pulled me aside and he told me, he said, Bin Laden didn't do it. It was me. And, like I said, I didn't know how to take it. I didn't know if I could believe it because, all the research that's been done on waterboarding says, people will make stuff up. So I wasn't really sure. And that's what we were doing. We were waterboarding up there at the lake. So, yeah, I don't know. All right, well, that's my time. And, normally I try to explain to the audience, like, what's going to happen now. I really don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a virtual host on this thing or not. And this is all pre-recorded, we're not doing this live. So, whatever happens, happens now, I guess. Woo!
That's Mr. Stephen Ferris. Am I unmuted? Great. That's Mr. Stephen Ferris. Listen, if you are ever looking for something to do, Mr. Stephen Ferris always asks, but what do you guys want to do? He's pretty much down for anything all the time. Was it last Friday, I think? He even gave us some dance time. I don't know who was on that video and who got to see that, but Mr. Stephen Ferris started dancing live in his living room. If you've never danced with Mr. Stephen Ferris, basically you haven't lived. It is amazing. It is uplifting. I ate chicken nuggets and watched it last time, but I've done it before. So if you ever want something to do, you can always message Mr. Stephen Ferris, and he'll ask you what you want to do, and he'll do it with you. That was amazing. Thank you for your comedy, Mr. Stephen Ferris. That's the best of. We have fresh stuff coming up from him. And, yeah, you can follow. I would follow him on the social medias for sure. Venmo's sure. Follow him on the social medias also. Also, some jokes came in. I didn't even ask this time for people's jokes, but people are sending in their jokes they want to be considered for best joke of the night. The residents at Grandma's assisted living home finally started rebelling. None of them have good eyesight, and the 6-foot distancing rule takes all the fun out of strip poker night. That was from, you guessed it, my dad. So my dad wanted you to hear that joke about Grandma. Crystal is listening right now, Dad, by the way, my cousin. We also have, I think, well over the necessary number of votes for Claymation Comedy. I think the necessary amounts of votes were me, but I'm glad other people voted. I think we are up to 4 votes. Jesse Smith would also be in full support of Claymation Comedy. It would be amazing. I can't even, 30 seconds of it would be. I don't know how long it takes to make. Jesse also liked the last guy's joke about dead grandma and breakup consoling. Which one was that? I already lost. Already thinking about Mr. Ferris and who's up next. Yeah, okay, good. Jesse's on board with Claymation. We'll have a watch. Jesse can have a watch party. I'll have a watch party once we get the Claymation in. I'm very excited about that. Also very excited for our next comedian. It's Mr. Luke Soy, and he's my neighbor. He has a dog named Nacho, and he's very funny. So this is our best of clip with Mr. Luke Soyan.
Hey, guys, give it up for all the comics you've seen so far on the internet. Yeah, you guys didn't see them, but I have an audience here. Anyways, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. Lilo. No, I'm kidding. I called the dog fat. I'm a dick. I hate this. No, I'm kidding. This is weird. But anyways, the elephant in the room I was going to talk about was I feel so rusty with an open mic in a microphone in my hand. This feels weird. And then I look at you guys, look at the camera. I hate this. Anyways, the elephant in the room I was talking about was coronavirus. I wrote some jokes because you have to. I don't know if you have to, but I did when I was running today. And I feel like the beer Corona has to change their name now. Because a year from now, some millennial kid's going to be at a bar with a Guinness, and he's going to look over and see a Corona and be like, Grandpa Phil! He's fucking dead! Plus, I don't know, I feel like Corona's this new star in the virus world, right? I hate seeing like an up and coming star come up and like just outshine the old ones, like it's fucked up. Like the flu is over here like, I do this every year. I'm the Michael Jordan of viruses, dude. Like I come back every season with a new look, new shoes, new cellular structure. Like, come on. I'm fucking doing this. And coronavirus is like, I'm on the internet with a vlog and everyone likes me, Also, you think AIDS is in the background just like, what you attack compromised immune systems? I fucking eat compromised, damn it, I fucked that up. I eat immune systems for breakfast, son. I was gonna do like an old gay queen voice for that joke. Like, I don't know if it's offensive, but it's so awkward with just the two of you here because we hang out and talk, but then now it's like I'm like, you don't want to look at me, and then my dog is on the couch and he's messing around. This is a great time. How much time do I got left? All right, let's see. I usually do this joke where I'm like, what kind of white do you guys think I am? I'm a white. I'm one of those white people you see. I'm actually Russian, if you didn't know. Yeah, I don't think you knew that, but you knew that probably. And I don't feel very Russian because I don't look Russian, so I've been trying to do stuff that Russian people do to fit in. So I've been stealing a lot of cars. I've been selling them on Craigslist. I've been fixing local high school presidential elections. I've been riding my horse to work shirtless. I mean, not right now because of the quarantine, but you guys know before I was doing it. And being Russian is cool. I haven't done this joke in so long. There's being a lot of people, like Russians, we love Adidas. We just love it. I don't know what it is about Adidas, but we love it. But if you ever see like a guy in a Nike tracksuit versus an Adidas one, that's not a real Russian. That's a fake dollar store Ukrainian piece of shit. It's not a real. This is how I get shot. I'd rather get shot than die of coronavirus. Honestly, that's what I'm going for. Oh, I got a minute and 20 left. There's a clock. So also. Russian stuff. I think I was talking about the horse thing. Putin's like interesting to me because like he's the only world leader I feel like that if wars were decided with hand-to-hand combat that he would actually win. Like, can you imagine him fighting Trump with his truck stop hooker body with his like floor titties hanging down? I think Trump's like the only president who's ever worn a bra in the Oval Office, which is kind of fucked up that he took that from women. It's like, should have been a woman that was the first president to wear a bra in the Oval Office. But no, it's Trump. And also, one more thing about Russians before I get out of here. 30 seconds. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to run the light. Russians, there's no light. I should do a 10-minute set. It doesn't matter. But I'm just going to stop this and I'll finish this joke. So, because I don't want it to beep. So, Russians, we're the best. I don't know if you guys know this. We're the best at killing people historically. Because if you look at World War II, a lot of people, you guys probably know, you're educated. You're a history teacher, Allie, Berta. But Stalin killed way more people than Hitler ever did. Because I feel like Hitler was just very focused. Like, he was kind of OCD. He was like, I must rid the world of the Jews. Like, we all know that story. But Stalin was just cool. He was just like, you know what? He was in the background just standing there like, I will kill everyone. Like, why stop at the Jews? That's stupid. There's so many people to kill. I've lost my accent. So, like, while Hitler was racist, Stalin was a winner. And I think that's pretty cool. You guys have an amazing audience. Thank you so much. Please give it up to your hosts, Skip Bacon, Stab, Allie Berta's house. This is great. Good night, everyone. Venmo me tips.
Do it. Venmo Luke Soyan tips. That was hilarious. I have seen that one before. I cannot get enough. Here's the thing about that set. At the beginning, he was like, "Oh, I want to do like an old gay queen voice for that is that too much," but then later has no problem slipping right into Hitler and then Stalin right after that. So as far as voices go, old gay queen, too far. Hitler and Stalin, right on. Also like that he starts out by fat shaming a dog. That's it.
I could watch that set again. If we ever do another favorites night, I might vote for that set again. So send Luke Solian your monies for his funny jokes. So he keeps doing them. Also, he does vlogs, which is a thing, which we do for our comedians. So when they're on the show, we post other funny stuff that they have so that you can check them out. They're very funny. You can also make suggestions. If you have some comedians you really like and you saw them at an open mic one time or you saw them at a comedy show and you're like, hey, what about that one guy with those one jokes? Crystal, my cousin Crystal, is watching in Arizona right now. Some of the guys from the club out in Arizona where we went are going to submit. I believe Jack already has submitted, so we'll have him on. Not Jack, my brother, Jack Fletcher, the comedian from Arizona. So maybe we'll have on some comedians from Arizona next time. If you have other comedians and you want them to be on this show, give them a nudge and let them know we miss them and that they're funny and we like having them here and that you'll buy them a White Claw in the form of a Venmo. That'd be super cute. So anyway, thanks, Luke. You're very funny. Good job. Oh my gosh, we only have one more left. And this was a big hit very early on in the social distancing comedy showcase series. So Valerie came on and everybody was like, whoa, did that lady just make songs for us? And she did. So we're going to close out tonight's show with Miss Valerie. Oh man, I never did. How did you say it? Bentavenga? That's probably not totally wrong, but very funny. So give it up for her. Here she is.
Hello, welcome to Closet Recordings, because I am in a closet, because I think it's acoustically better, but the floor is squeaky, so I have no idea. Yeah, here's a song about parenting. I'll admit I'm stressed, the world feels like such a mess. Soon we'll be sheltered in place. Actually, we're called to shelter in place today, so that's happened. And I can't even touch my face. Wash my hands so much they're dry. Social media has gone awry. Not 6 feet under, but apart. And I think this is only the start. So hey, let's social distance together. Would you like to watch another freezer stocked up ice cream, living our life through the memes? You know, if self-isolation is how we're gonna save the nation from this freaking SARS-CoV-2, I would survive quarantine with you, hey, quarantine with you, hey. We've had to cancel our plans, we're constantly washing our hands. Don't you dare sneeze, don't you dare sneeze. And if we're staying home to work, there's at least this one little perk. So hey, let's social distance together. Would you like to watch another freezer stocked up on ice cream, living our life through the memes? You know, if self-isolation is how we're gonna save the nation through this freaking COVID, through this freaking SARS-CoV-2, I'll survive quarantine with you, hey, quarantine with you, hey, quarantine with you, hey, quarantine with you, hey. Okay, I have another song. I live in Seattle, and I've lived here for over a year, which gives me the right to complain about things. And that's what this song is. Okay. I really love my dog and walking her at Cow Beach, but I don't understand why she has to be on a leash. And that's not the worst of it that really ruined my day. I can't bring my dog into the cat cafe. I thought living in Seattle would at least have a perk, but apparently I can't wear an activewear to work. You find me on Tinder, don't assume what I'm like. I say I love the outdoors, but don't frickin' take me on a hike. Sure, we have beer, and we have weed.
I told you the jokes were funny. I mean, music jokes. I like how much music we had. I like tonight's show. Oh, we didn't determine what tonight's show theme was. The unspoken theme, but that gets spoken over and over again all the time. Yeah, I don't know. If you have a theme, type it in there. Doesn't matter. People do it without you. Oh, hey, there's Dominic. Oh, wait, I don't know where he is. But he's another Arizona comedian, and I hope he pops onto the show, too. He was hilarious. Arizona, funny people. And my cousin. It's a great place to be because my cousin's there. Dad wanted to send a thank you. He said, cool, thank you. I'm so proud one of my jokes went global. Like a virus we all know. So that's how my dad ends it up. Emily, thanks for saying that your dad also says dudettes. Makes me feel better. Germ, it does make sense that it's a thing surfer dudes say, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because my dad married a SoCal lady, so it probably seeped in there. Also got some pictures from Grandma recently of my dad, who apparently didn't wear anything but cut off Daisy Dukes until like 1989. Yeah, I don't think we have any pictures of my dad prior to 1989 where he wasn't wearing Daisy Dukes. Great times, good times. The 80s were fun. Thank you for everybody being on here tonight. Clearly, things we've learned tonight. Claymation is a definite yes. We are gonna do that. I'm so freaking stoked. Over here to this side, that's where I would point. I think that makes sense. Is everyone's information, so you can Venmos them. So you can follow them on the social medias. Also, I like that we've all came on here and gave some of our suggestions for who we'd like to see. So hopefully we can get some of our favorite people up there. Big shout out to Tracy Bean for saying I look good. I think she was the only one tonight. What's up, guys? I've been on a little quarantine wait, and all of a sudden my hair doesn't look good anymore. Fine, no, it's fine. What else? Ruby Sutnick. That was one of the comedians that we had a request for. So we'll try and get some Ruby on there. And hopefully we'll see you all next week. Make sure to check out Stab. They're having all sorts of crazy fun stuff for you while you're at home quarantining. Pop on. See some funny people, do some creative, awesome things. And we'll see you back here next week for another edition of the Social Distancing Comedy Showcase. Bye, guys.
Did you try?